Guys, welcome back to my channel. Welcome back to Real Talk Bougie. Guys, let's get into this. This is an interesting situation. This is the former head coach of Michigan football over at the University of Michigan. Why is this story interesting? This is a 39-year-old head coach of a major university, major football program, and he was fired and jailed all in the same week. Like, just a lot going on here. It seems like I don't know what's going on with this man, but apparently he was having some sort of extramarital affair. Something is going on. They did Let's just get into it and we'll talk about it.
About what happened leading up to that very high-profile arrest. I do want to check in live with Robin Murdoch over at our Fox 2 Detroit team. She has been following this and has all of the latest. And of course, Robin, I know you've been working around the clock here to get more information, and you definitely have that.
Yeah, we do. And we are awaiting an arraignment that is expected to happen at some point today, Josh. We're standing outside the courthouse where Sherrone Moore is expected to face a judge. We aren't exactly sure what time it is going to happen today. And we really aren't sure about the charges just yet, but we have been told that he is expected to finally be arraigned at some point today. As you know, Sherrone Moore, he has been at the Washtenaw County Jail, and this is about 30 miles from Detroit. He's been inside the jail since Wednesday, awaiting that arraignment connected to an incident at a Pittsfield Township home. Now, we were able to obtain the 911 call about an alleged assault in which that caller described being attacked as well as stalked. Now, that happened shortly after the university announced Moore had been fired for having an inappropriate relationship with a staff member. Now, this, of course, is the latest blow to the football program at the University of Michigan in just 2 years. You might remember the university was fined some $20 million in a sign stealing scandal that resulted in Moore's brief suspension. And the head coach at that time, Jim Harbaugh, he was banned from college football for 10 years because of that. And I want you to take a listen now, though, to a part of that 911 dispatch call that we were able to get a hold of. Take a listen to this.
Subject just called the caller told her there's a male at the location and the house attacking her. He's been stalking her for months. For the Pittsfield units, reference to domestic, we did a call from S1's wife in Ann Arbor saying that the subject is suicidal, referencing his job today.
Now we are expected to.
I could not understand that 911 call. I'm going to see if I can find a better version of that, but it sounded like the guy said something like he's been stalking someone for months.
Learn more details about
in the arraignment, they're going to talk about it. So not to say that he hasn't been stalking this person, it just was hard to hear and make out the actual audio, but I'm sure we'll figure it out.
The alleged assault when Moore is arraigned. And again, we're just waiting on a time for that to happen. From what we understand, the court, they're still waiting for the paperwork. So we're kind of on standby for that court appearance today. But of course, we'll be watching the situation very, very carefully. We are live here in Ann Arbor. I'm Robin Murdoch. I'll send it right back to you, Josh.
All right, Robin Murdoch there at Fox 2 Detroit, a story that a lot of eyes are on nationwide. So we appreciate your coverage. And of course, we will check back in here.
We're now calling case number 25F1.
I'm just trying to figure out, now obviously the employee, the staff member who was engaging in the affair, he is the leadership person, so they won't be held to the same standard for the affair. And also now that there's criminal allegations, but it's like it's going to be interesting to see, will the university do an investigation? Was it widely known that these two were carrying on? Was there kind of, collusion to kind of conceal the secret relationship? Like, was this completely a secret? Is this a complete shock to everybody involved? Or was this kind of like a bad kept secret around the university and people knew what was going on, but, kind of just kept quiet and didn't talk about it? Like, what was the situation? That's what I would like to know. I would imagine that they're going to do some sort of investigation because these situations are a nightmare. You've got an employee who's carrying on with a head coach who is the leader, one of the leadership of the athletic program. So is this person going to potentially sue for sexual harassment? What's the outcomes going to be? This is just very expensive and for an institution that's in the business of higher learning and also running a very popular, successful athletic program. This just isn't good for the university. And you heard the last story talking about a previous lawsuit, $20 million. These are the type of things that cost the institution a lot of money and just takes away from the families and the students that are investing their time and money into the institution for education, right? And also to enjoy their favorite sports.
2175. This is the people of the state of Michigan versus Sherrone Moore. Mr. Simon. Appearance.
Thank you, Your Honor. Good afternoon. Katie Rizmersky, First Assistant Prosecutor.
Let me just say something really quick before we get into it. I'm not going to interrupt after this. He looks totally different. I mean, obviously he's got on jail scrubs, and I wonder if he's having some sort of mental breakdown. Something is wrong. Is he off his medication? Is he supposed to be medicated? Like, what's going on with this guy? Because he looked to be a pretty together guy, and to behave in such a manner. But they said he's been stalking for months. But the allegations are that he broke into this person's house and all of these things going on. He's married. He's got 3 children. Like, this is so bizarre. Anyway, let's listen and we'll talk about it at the end.
For the Special Victims Unit for the people.
Your Honor, Joe Simon on behalf of Mr. Moore.
That's the charge, sir.
We waive formal reading of the complaint, Your Honor.
Appearance.
Thank you, Your Honor. Good afternoon. Katie Rizmersky, First Assistant Prosecutor for the Special Victims Unit for the people.
Your Honor, Joe Simon on behalf of Mr. Moore.
That's the charge, sir.
We waive formal reading of the complaint, Your Honor, stand mute to the charges.
While reading having been waived, the mute will be entered on your client's behalf. Simon, make your bond argument now, or was it?
Your Honor, I think the people want to make a presentation, and I'll go after that if that's okay.
Harrison.
Your Honor, thank you very much. I appreciate that. Mr. Simon. And thank you for the opportunity to be heard. As the court is well aware, this is not a series of offenses in Michigan that allow you to deny bond. We're certainly not asking for that. This is a felony of home invasion 3rd degree, misdemeanor stalking, and misdemeanor entry without permission. Your Honor, we are asking for a $25,000 cash or surety bond in light of the fact that we cannot ask for you to deny bond. I get that he is a man of means, and so this is a bit of a nominal monetary ask, but quite frankly, it would be an ask that I would make for any defendant charged with these offenses before you. So what strikes me as perhaps more important in this scenario are conditions that I would like to ask for, because of course, as you know, Your Honor, you're tasked with trying to make sure that he reappears, but also the safety of the public and this victim in particular. So Judge, in addition to an ask for a $25,000 cash or surety, we are asking, should he post that? Should you impose that? We are asking that you order that he undergo a mental health evaluation. We are asking that you order him to submit to a GPS tether and that there be a no-go to this victim's residence or place of employment. Ask that you order that there be no contact with her whatsoever in any means, any fashion, direct or indirect, that there be no stalking behavior of any kind, that he be ordered to surrender any and all weapons, further that he be ordered to surrender his passport. Judge, the reason, Your Honor, the reason we make those requests is in light of the factual scenario that gives rise to these charges. My best understanding from a thorough review of the police report and as much body-worn camera as I've had an opportunity to review is that I understand that our victim broke up. They had an intimate relationship for a number of years, defendant and victim, that our victim broke up with this defendant on Monday morning early, that there continued to be defendant making numerous phone calls and sending numerous texts from that time moving forward that she did not answer, did not respond to, and did not want. That eventually she presented herself to the University of Michigan, cooperated in some form of investigation there. As we all now know, defendant was at some point on Wednesday afternoon fired from his employment. He then, at some point soon thereafter, came to her apartment in the address that is alleged in the complaint, barged his way into that apartment, immediately then proceeded to a kitchen drawer, grabbed several butter knives and a pair of kitchen scissors, and began to threaten his own life. I'm going to kill myself. I'm going to make you watch. My blood is on your hands. You ruined my life. And a series of very, very threatening intimidating, terrifying, quite frankly, statements and behaviors there in that apartment. It was only then, Your Honor, when the victim, she called her attorney and then at some point indicated she was going to call the police, and then he left. And so, Your Honor, while I understand that there isn't evidence to suggest that he directly threatened the victim with any of those implements that I've indicated, the totality of the behavior is highly threatening and highly intimidating. She was terrorized, Your Honor. And in light of the totality of all of those circumstances, we consider the defendant to be a risk to public safety, a risk to this victim. And it is for those reasons that we are asking for those specific conditions. And I'm more than happy to answer any other questions that the court may have or give you further information. And I appreciate the opportunity. Thank you, Judge.
Mr. Simon, Mr. Bond.
Your Honor, let me start at the end where the people ended. In terms of risk to public safety, my client's 39 years old with zero prior criminal history, zero prior contact with the criminal justice system in any fashion. The threat to public safety argument by these charges, maybe that's the point, but there's no evidence to suggest that he's a threat to the public safety. The next thing is that the people referenced the courtroom, and I want to come back to that you can't deny bond in a situation like this. And they referenced something else that I want to come back to, which is the fact that they reviewed thoroughly the police report and they reviewed thoroughly the body cam. I've had none of that opportunity. And that's too early for that in the proceedings. So when people come in here and make factual representations, although I trust Ms. Wisniewski very much as an officer of the court, I have no ability to respond to those factual representations. So here's what I'm going to ask the court. The monetary bond component, the two considerations by court rule are my client will appear. Let me speak to that. He's got a home here. His family is here. He's got ties to our community. He's retained a local counsel here. Second thing is that my client is not otherwise a danger to the public or danger to the complainant. There are other, that is why monetary components are requested, but there are other measures to address them. For example, the request for a GPS tether, that was an expected request. My client will gladly comply with that request. The second thing is my client having no contact. Certainly, we have no objection to that order, and my client would be at his own peril if he were to violate that. His bond would be summarily revoked. In terms of surrendering the transport or passport, Your Honor, there's no really indication that he is a flight risk. My client has those established ties that I talked about. But in addition to that, Your Honor, he would have an order from the court like everyone else does. There would be no leaving the state, let alone the country, without permission of the court, and he would certainly abide by that. Your Honor, with respect to the request for a mental health evaluation, I will represent a few things that are my understanding, again, without being privileged to have reviewed discovery yet. My understanding is that following his arrest, my client was taken to the St. Joseph Mercy Health System for an evaluation, a mental health evaluation. My understanding is following that evaluation, he was not turned over for a commitment, but instead turned back over to law enforcement for lodging. That's where he's been in the Washoe County Jail since. I can also tell the court that the Community Mental Health Department saw my client yesterday for an evaluation as well without any further recommendation. If you make that a condition of bond, I can tell the court that he get a mental health evaluation, he will absolutely comply and follow any aftercare recommendation. Lastly, Your Honor, with respect to the bond amount. I just forgot to speak about weapons. He has no weapons, but he'll surrender. If you order that he surrender any weapons that he doesn't have, he'll be glad to comply with that condition. With respect to the bond amount, Your Honor, in a case like this, with charges like this, in a normal circumstance, we'd be requesting a personal recognizance bond and frankly expecting the court to order it. We all know this is not our ordinary circumstance. It's not an insignificant amount of money to anyone. And I ask that the court set the bond amount to the principles, not of my client's bank account, but to the principles of the charges and to the principles of the court. Therefore, I'm requesting that if the court orders a monetary component at all, that it be with a $25,000 10% privilege. And also, Your Honor, if my client is to order to a GPS tether, things have to happen pretty significantly to try to get that in place in time for what we hope to be successful. Thank you.
Mr. Moore, could you state your name, please?
Sherrone Moore.
Sir, you are not to use alcohol, marijuana, or any other controlled substance that is not prescribed to you. You are not to possess or purchase a firearm or any other dangerous weapon. You are not to engage in criminal conduct of any kind whatsoever. You may not leave the state of Michigan without permission of the court. Prior to your release, you will be placed on a GPS tether. You will not be released before that GPS tether is placed upon you. You must continue all mental health treatment as a condition of your bond. The named victim in this case will not be placed on the record. You may not have contact with that individual. That means no calling, no writing, no video chatting, no texting, no emailing, or any other form of contact the human mind can possibly fathom. No one in the world thinks that this person is going to reach out to you. Should they do so, and again, no one thinks that they're going to, you may not reply in any form or fashion. The named victim's address will not be placed on the record, but you may not go to that location for any reason whatsoever. Are we understood on the no contact and no go-to, sir?
Yes, Your Honor.
You have any questions about that? You have a good attorney, simply ask them. You understand?
Yes, Your Honor.
Bond will be set in the amount of $25,000 cash surety, as requested by the prosecution's office. This court does not determine innocence or guilt. This court determines flight risk and community safety. The court finds with these conditions in place, it has been met. Mr. Simon, we are setting probable cause conference at this time for January 8th due to the holidays and scheduling. Is that a good court date for you?
Your Honor, my client will waive his right to have that next court appearance within 14 days. I discussed that with him. I also try to coordinate calendars with Mr. Zmirsky. In support of that, I think we're both available on January 22nd. The court will order that. And I'll add one more thing for the record in support of that. I understand there is continuing investigation. So in addition to the discovery I don't yet have, there may be more.
So it will be January 26th, 2020.
15, 22nd.
January 22nd. Then. January 22nd, 2026, 9 a.m., 14A1 District Court, Courtroom C. That will be in person. Sir, do not violate these bond conditions. Follow all orders of the court. Stay in contact with your lawyer. That concludes this hearing.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Thank you very much.
Okay, guys, that's crazy, right? Like, okay, look,
Yeah.
affairs happen. We know that. Like, that's not anything new, right? So affairs happen. How long has he been married? I don't have that information yet, but looking at the pictures, I mean, he's got 3 small children, let's say all elementary, maybe even a preschool. So he's 39 years old. He doesn't look 39 there, and he doesn't look like he looks when he's at his games. He looks very downtrodden, but he's also been in jail for a few days, and he's probably thinking, oh shit, you know what I mean? Like, I'm sure it's not a good feeling. Who knows what's going on, if the wife is even taking his calls. Let me give you some information that I'm looking at on the online. I do have a copy of the criminal complaint, but here is a breakdown. So the complaint filed in Washtenaw County outlines 3 specific charges following his arrest December 10th. So what was that, 4 days ago? Count 1, home invasion, felony charge for allegedly entering the victim's residence without permission to commit a crime while the victim was present. The penalty carries up to 5 years and a $2,000 fine. stalking, domestic relationship misdemeanor for willful course of conduct involving repeated harassment, up to 1 year in jail, $1,000 fine, breaking and entering, illegal entry, the misdemeanor for entering the dwelling of an individual with whom the defendant had a dating relationship, 90 days and up to a $500 fine. According to the prosecutor's statement and the court documents, the motive the victim reportedly, a former staff member, had an intimate relationship with Moore for several years and ended it Monday, December 8th. The incident, after being fired from the University of Michigan on Wednesday, this is a bad week for him. He got broken up with, he got fired, and got arrested all in the same week. That's my God. After being, and now his wife knows. So my God, this is a mess. And now he's dragged across the internet. After being fired by the University of Michigan on Wednesday, December 10th, Moore allegedly barged into the victim's apartment, grabbed knives and scissors, which we heard, and terrorized the victim while threatening to harm himself and her. Mental health. Moore's attorney noted that he has no prior criminal history, and the court has ordered a mental health evaluation and GPS monitoring for conditions of his $25,000 bond. What else does it say? He's going back to court on January 22nd. Records can be requested. Okay. Interesting. Interesting. Okay. He looks real messed up. I'm sure, hopefully he's had some time to think, as he has been contemplating
Check with your lawyer.
the events of this week.
Conclude this hearing.
I'm going to just say, and this is just my opinion, obviously, these are all things that were within his control when he chose to get involved in this relationship, all of the things. So, it's unfortunate when your choices, come back to haunt you.
Michigan athletics than John U. Bacon. He's a Michigan historian.
Okay, they're
also
going to talk a
best-selling
little
author. By
sports
the
here,
way,
which we're
his
not.
new book,
We're not going to go there. For any of you sports people who are tuning in, now this is the messy coverage right here. Ex-Michigan coach Sherrone Moore comes home. So they are parked outside these people's house. I don't know if they're just now. Girl, be careful! Don't hit that car. Did the wife go pick him up? Let's see what's going on here. Oh, is this him going into the house? Oh, they're moving some cars out. If you have a bunch of cars at the house, you have to play Tetris in the driveway. So I guess they're moving some cars out the way, and it's snowing and it's icy. I'm surprised none of the reporters were like, "Hey, how are you guys doing over there? How's it feel to be out of jail? What's going on?" Is that him right there? Oh, and then they close the garage. Okay. So this is the. Oh. They closed the garage, and then here we go. They were waiting for him to come home. Does anyone think that the wife knew about the affair? I mean, look, how much worse can it be having a situation happen like this? The kids are getting ready to be out of school. It's almost Christmas. It's the holidays. Are you packing him out of his room right now? Are you getting ready to lease him an apartment or get him, or are you leaving to go to Florida with the kids? What are you doing? at this point. Your husband is lost his mind. He got broken up with by his girlfriend. He lost his job. He got arrested. You get notified. He's in jail for a couple of days. It's all over the news, and it's Christmas and the holidays. What do you do? Okay. Oh, they moved all the cars so they could pull in. Uh-oh. Okay, they got the car in the garage. Okay. That SUV barely makes it into the garage. Okay, well, we're not going to get to see anything because they got him in. They said, do you have a comment?
Mr. Moore, you want to make a comment?
Mr. Moore, do you want to make a comment? This is terrible. And they're just parked out in front of the house. Nobody better not ever say that traditional media is not messy. Please don't ever say that. They are extremely, look, this is the news that the people want. They want to know what's going on. They want to know, is there a comment? Did you see them leave the house? Was there an opportunity to get a word? They are parked right outside. Look, they got the Christmas lights on outside and everything. Are there any of you watching on the replay in the comments think that the wife may have already known that this was a known situation in their relationship? Is this kind of like an open situation? Is the wife, do you think the wife got blindsided? What do you think about this situation? He's been fired. He's been exposed. This is a turning point. They got people coming to the house, maybe the lawyers, maybe strategy people. Certainly, it can't be a Christmas party. All right, let's
get the latest on that bizarre story out of the University of Michigan. We're learning more about fired university coach Sherrone Moore. Moore made his first court appearance this morning. He's charged with stalking and home invasion.
So embarrassing.
He's out of jail.
Do you imagine finding out your husband is cheating on you, and on top of that, he's out there stalking the woman? Like, it's bad enough that you're cheating, but they had to pick you up for stalking? It's all unforgivable, but that just makes it worse. And on top of that, he loses his job. That's just...
as of this past hour, I believe, I was hearing from our producers here. So, freshly out of jail. For more on the story...
Not freshly out of jail.
Today, we're joined by Detroit news reporter Tony Paul. He's here with me. Tony, tell us more about what we learned at this hearing this morning.
Yeah, quite a surreal scene. I mean, just 48 hours.
Okay, guys, let me let you guys check into this. If you want some more details on this, I mean, we'll keep our eye on it. This is really kind of an unfortunate story. And I'm going to just say I do feel bad for the wife and the kids. Unfortunately, this type of situation is never good. I'm sure it's shocking. And it's sad that something like this would happen, especially at this time of year. I'm sure any time of year it's horrible, but specifically this time of year, it's family, it's holidays, it's all of the things. And then to kind of find out that, the life that you thought you had, you don't. And things have dramatically changed overnight. It's unfortunate, but hey, it's, that's just the way things are fleshing out in this particular story. It's quite unfortunate. You guys comment down below. Let me know what you think. Did you even know this was going on? I am subscribed to a lot of Detroit area, Michigan area news, and I saw this come on live, and I didn't know who this person was, because I mean, there's arraignments happening all over the country at any given moment. And then once I looked into it a little more and realized who this was, it was kind of like, wow, this is really crazy. And also just the affair component, the stalking component, the mental evaluation. Maybe he has had a break with his better self and needs to have some severe counseling to get himself back on track, because it's unfortunate that due to this situation, he's, lost his career and all of the things at this moment, that the university has had to separate themselves from him. But anyway, you guys let me know down below what you think, and I'll see you in the next live or post. Take care. Bye, guys. Have a great day.